Chris Clem's with us now. He's former Yuma Sector Border Patrol agent, started his career in El Paso. And Chris, nice to see you again, and thanks for coming back here. Just that last point that Casey was reporting on, 1,000 gotaways a day in the month of October. What are we doing?
Yeah, you know, it's not surprising given the lackluster response this administration's had since day one on the border. Just based on your reporting, listen to what Mr. Homan said. I mean, those are things that, again, don't surprise me, but alarm me. We've got people from, that are on our watch list that are from places that, really aren't our friends, and they are getting into the country. Thank goodness our agents are catching them. But when you look at those numbers of gotaways, I mean, that is just ridiculous. And who is that population, right? Criminal aliens, would-be terrorists, we don't know. And that should alarm every one of us. And it's a shame it's taken something like this war in the Middle East to really kind of make people think about what we've been talking about for the last several years.
Well, and that's the point now. That's the point, because here's what we get. The feds are warning that Hamas and Hezbollah could be crossing the southern border. All right. Now, as you see the terror watch list encounters now, Casey said 169. I see 172 on the board. Whether it's 169 or what, it doesn't matter, right? It's too many on the terror watch list who have been caught.
Yeah, I think that the high number includes the northern border. But yeah, our agents are very vigilant. They're doing their job when they can get out there and do their job. We really need to focus and secure this border. It's what we've been talking about, what I've been talking about while I was still chief in Yuma, and since I've retired. We've got the ability to do it. We had the plan in place. We were securing the border to the best it's been in, at my point, 25 years of my career. But this has just gone on too long. As the senator mentioned in the earlier report, the material is there. The plans are there. We just need to do it. And for us to just sit there and be naive that this is not going to happen, what we're seeing overseas, it could not happen over here. I think we're in a different world, and we've got to secure this border. We have to make this country safe. We've talked about every town is a border town, every state is a border state, and we've got to protect this America's front line through our policies, through our infrastructure, adding more border patrol agents, and really getting all three of those government entities, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive, to get on board and get things done. Stop bickering, get a budget passed, get things in place, and keep America safe.
Yeah. Two more things here. How many on that list applies to those connected to terror groups in South America? I mean, we typically think of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, et cetera.
Yeah, well, certainly not going to get into too much detail in this kind of forum, but I would say a lot of them are related to South American entries, people that have relations. Again, the watch list is people that have some kind of nexus or affiliation. So, yeah, I know from my experience, a lot of them came from South America when I was in Yuma. But, yeah, we don't know, and I don't have that fidelity at this point, and nor could I really talk about it if I did. But it is alarming. There's a reason why they're on that database. I mean, that is, I think, what the American people and people listening here need to understand. There's a reason somebody's on that database, and there's a reason why they're trying to come here.
Okay, last question. San Diego local field office, guys, this is call for number 4. This is what they write. Foreign fighters motivated by ideology or mercenary soldiers of fortune may attempt to obfuscate travel to or from the U.S., to or from countries in the Middle East through Mexico. You're aware of that, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, that is the route of travel. I mean, that is what has happened, whether these are economic migrants, these are people that are fleeing, or these are people that have, ill will towards the United States. That's the route of travel. So, we need our allied nations, and Mexico is an allied nation, to help us in this fight to keep people from even entering Mexico that are coming from areas that sponsor terrorism and sponsor groups that want to do harm towards the United States. But yeah, that route of travel and those comments are real, and we need to be aware and be alert. And I have no doubt that our men and women in the Border Patrol are taking care of business. They just got to be allowed to do their business 100%.
Thanks for coming back, Chris. Chris Clem on the border. Thank you, sir, for your time today.
You got it. Thank you.